Parsvottanasana is our pose for today. Parsva means side or flank. Uttana is broken down as ut for intense and tan to extend, strength, or lengthen. So it means intense stretch. This name implies a pose in which the side of the chest is stretched intensely. Wow, what's funny about this is that when I look at the pose, and I know this pose, I do not think of the side of my chest being stretched. I think of my hips being stretched, and in fact, this is a stretch I did to warm up for yesterday's pose, Utthita Hasta Padangustasana. So today we're doing Parsvottanasana. It's 6 stars out of 60. It's there on the bottom. I often do this without doing the arm just to stretch out my hips, but we'll do the arms today too. So actually you can see the first thing is to do the arms there. That might take a long time to work on if your shoulders aren't very flexible, which can be for any number of reasons. It's not a defect or anything like that. But you can do this pose one step at a time or all the way through. So let's talk about the technique. Stand in Tadasana, inhale deeply and stretch the body forward. I don't know what that means. In Tadasana, inhale and stretch the body forward. I don't know. I'm going to ignore that because to me it's not clear enough to act on. Let me know in the comments if you think that you know what he means by that. Okay. Join the palms behind the back and draw the shoulders and elbows back. Exhale, turn the wrists and bring both palms up above the middle of the back of the chest. I always say just reach up as high as you can because you probably can't get that high even if you're reaching as high up as you can. So this is kind of as high as I can get reaching up, but it's about the top middle of my back. The fingers at the level of the shoulder blades. You are doing Namaste, the Indian gesture of respect by folding the hands with your hands behind your back. That alone feels really good if you hunch over a lot, if you're at the computer, on your phone, etc., to kind of open up and really stretch. But you don't want to overdo it and have a painful sensation. So, just start slowly with that. While you have the reverse Namaste, the Namaste behind your back, you're going to inhale and with a jump spread the legs apart sideways, 3 to 3.5 feet. Stay in this position and exhale. Inhale and turn the trunk to the right. Turn the foot 90 degrees sideways to the right, keeping the toes and heel in a line with the trunk. Turn the left foot with the leg 75 to 80 degrees to the right, so mostly to the right. And keep the left foot stretched out and the leg tightened at the knee. Throw the head back. Again, I don't think you should ever throw your head back. It seems like you could really give yourself whiplash. I just recommend lifting the chin, in fact, instead of throwing the head back. So if you just lift the chin, it's the same as throwing your head back, but a lot more gentle. Exhale, bend the trunk forward and rest the head on the right knee. A lot of us aren't going to be able to reach that far, and that's okay. Maybe just kind of hang where you can. Another modification there is that you can bend your knees to make this work, and you can also lift your back heel for more mobility if you need to. I'll show you in a second. So after you stretch and extend the neck until the nose, then the lips, and lastly the chin touch, and then rest beyond the right knee. So you can see in the photo, he has his chin kind of resting on the knee, and then he's sort of looking down at his ankle. Tighten both the legs by pulling the kneecaps up. So that's if you already can get into this last stage. Do you want to kind of firm up like that? Stay in the pose from 20 seconds to half a minute with normal breathing, then slowly move the head and trunk towards the left knee by swinging the trunk round the hips. At the same time, turn the left foot 90 degrees towards the left and the right foot 75 to 80 degrees to the left. Now raise the trunk and head as far back as you can without bending the right leg. This movement should be done with 1 inhalation. Was that clear to you guys? After you have finished the first side, let's go over this again. Slowly move the head and trunk towards the left knee, so the back knee, by swinging the trunk round the hips. At the same time, you switch your legs. So I guess you stay down to switch the legs. I've never heard of that before. In 1 inhalation. And then you exhale, bend the trunk forward, rest the head again on the left knee. After holding on that side, you inhale, move the head to the center and the feet to their original position so that the toes point forward. So you end up in a forward like straddle pose. Then raise the trunk up, exhale and jump back to Tadasana, releasing the hands from the back. If you cannot fold the hands together behind the back, just grip the wrist and follow the above technique. Whew, okay, this is an interesting one. Definitely very different than I've ever heard it taught before in an Ashtanga class or in just a Vinyasa class or anything. I've never heard it taught in this progression of how to switch from one side to the other. So that's interesting. And I think it'll be a little bit of a balance challenge. The effects of this asana relieves stiffness in the legs and hip muscles and makes the hip joints and spine elastic. While the head is resting on the knees, the abdominal organs are contracted and toned. The wrists move freely and any stiffness there disappears. The posture also corrects round and drooping shoulders, like I mentioned at the beginning. In the correct pose, the shoulders are drawn well back and this makes deep breathing easier. Oh, all right, let's try it out. Parsvottanasana, 6 stars out of 60. Let's go. I repositioned the camera so that you can see my feet since I think that's more important here and we'll be folding over. So we're gonna start by doing the reverse namaste. So I'm just gonna lift my arms behind me and get to my namaste and kind of inch my hands up my back. So if this isn't accessible to you, he said to grab your wrist, maybe like this. I would say maybe grab opposite elbows. This is a good way to start. Rolling your shoulders back. So anyways, reverse namaste. And then from here, from Tadasana with reverse namaste, we're gonna jump about 3 to 3.5 feet wide. Turn the right toes out 90 degrees. Turn the left toes in about 80 degrees, so almost all the way to the front. So now we're facing the front, or the right, I guess. The legs are straight, my namaste hands are still here, and I'm gonna reach my head all the way to my knee. So my chin is at my knee and I'm looking kind of down to the ankle. So where I feel this is not in my side, I feel this in the back of my leg, my right leg here that I'm folding over. Okay, and then he says to stay down and to switch the legs. My hip just cracked. Okay, and then this side. I'm pausing the video right here to just note that I realized after making the video that he actually says to come all the way up and reach back once you get over there to the second side and then fold again and then finish the pose. And then he says to come out of this, you come through center and then lift everything up and then release your hands and hop back in. Let me know, have you tried it that way? Have you had it taught to you that way? What do you think if you try to practice it that way? I would say it's not really that comfortable to transition that way. I would normally do that pose, which is also known as pyramid pose. I would normally do that pose with an option to have blocks under your hands instead of having the reverse namaste. So something like this. Let's say you can only fold about this far with your legs straight. Blocks are really good here. Or if you want to put your hands on the floor but you can't quite reach, you can just bend your knees a little bit, that's fine. Or as I mentioned, you can lift your back heel a little bit to give you some more space. So all of those are good variations. And I find it more comfortable to go into that pose the way that Baptiste Power Yoga teaches you to, which is after triangle pose, because your legs are already mostly in the right position and you can just drop down over your front leg. And another good time to get into it is from a low lunge, just step your back foot in a little and fold forward. So those are some variations. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.